Hi and welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben and this is my review for Netflix's original movie, High Flying Bird. This is how I structure my reviews. I give a short synopsis, then I talk about what I liked and did not, and then I give a fun fact at the end before giving my rating. But that's not how I'm going to do it today. This time is different. This film is so different. So I'm just going to talk about it and see where it takes me. During a pro basketball lockout, sports agent Ray Berg finds himself caught in the face-off between the league and the players. He has only 72 hours to pull off a daring plan. He must outmaneuver all the power players as he uncovers a loophole that would change the game forever, or that could change the game forever. Right from the start, it was evident to me that I was watching something that was not typical. From the framing of the camera to the heavy dialogue, this is not your typical feel-good sports drama. But it does feel very much like a Steven Soderbergh film, which it is. Partly what makes this film feel so different is how it is filmed on an iPhone. The framing of the movie is very odd, the shots are very creative. Steven Soderbergh has his own style in storytelling, and that's so evident in this film. I loved Ocean's 11, Traffic, and more recently Unsane. I thought those were excellent. There's an intensity in his films that kind of travels through the lens to the camera, through to the viewer, and it's no different with this. Even though this is a movie about basketball or the politics of it, I think you get that this is a Soderbergh film. He breaks all the rules of filming. There are rules, and I have to say a lot of the time I did feel quite uncomfortable watching this film because he breaks that 180 rule several times. The angles are often not normal. At times you feel like you're a security camera, or you're watching from a security camera, or you're a ghost just hovering in like a strange angle. It feels like sometimes you're a peeping Tom, or it's a voyeuristic film, because the way it's shot, the way the camera is positioned, makes you feel like you're not part of the conversation or part of the film in that way that is the norm. You can literally go from one shot that will take your breath away with how the shot is lit and how it looks, and then it will go to another shot where the camera is positioned on the table and a character will bang his hands on the table and the camera wobbles, which is normally would be like, no, we don't do that. We don't want to see character wobble because, you know, the character has bumped the camera. That would be, let's retake the shot. But here they keep it in, and it's interesting. The filming is really quite different. I still can't decide whether I really like it. The filming, that is, it's definitely unique. The problem I have with it is I'm not sure where to place myself as a viewer. At times you go along the ride with the characters, other times it's filmed like it's a documentary. Some of the low angles with the lighting mimic that of a horror, but it's not a horror. Just take the opening scene for example. There are so many cuts, and each cut is almost to an entirely different shot and angle. It's a massive dialogue scene, but it has, I think, at least 26 different cuts and at least 23 different angles. I went back and I checked. So I should talk about something else other than the filming techniques used, but as you can see, the filming plays a big part of this movie. Sometimes you might hear people say that the camera is a character in the film, the way it's shot, that the film itself, the camera positions become a character. I think that could be true of this film, except there would be 400 of them. There's this line in the movie, they invented a game on top of the game. And I thought to myself, that said it all really, it's wrapped it up quite neatly. This film is a snapshot look at the politics that happens within the NBA. Some films have touched on this before. I've seen American football films that have touched on these themes, but none of them felt as real as this one did. I think that comes down to the directing of the actors and the way the film shows that through the lens of the camera. I've gone back to filming again. And to my shame, I was halfway through the film when I realized this film had no score. None. Well, except for the end and one minor part in the restaurant, which I think was just the music playing in the restaurant. But it's another bold choice. And it works.
Come on, man.
It's also funny in places. Not like someone was telling a joke funny, but it's what's happening in the situation. It's clever and funny, and I appreciated the wit that caused me to laugh. So it's the situations that the characters find themselves in. It's the wit in the dialogue that I just thought, wow, that's funny, it's humorous. I don't know if you will find it, maybe my humor's just odd, but there were times where I was like, yeah, that's funny. There are several phases I didn't understand about basketball, and some terminology used by the youth in a scene that confused me. But for the most part, the dialogue and story makes you think about it, makes you think about the story. It gives some real insight into what happens behind the curtains, and at the same time, it didn't make me feel stupid for not understanding certain things. I'm sure if you are a massive basketball fan, you will understand everything in this film. But as you can see, my basketball is well used, but I don't actually play that much, and it's not as popular in the UK as it is in the USA. So please forgive me if I don't understand all those things and you are thinking, how can you not understand everything? Well, it's because I just don't watch basketball. I don't understand some of the terminology. This is the second movie by Steven Soderbergh that he shot on an iPhone, I believe. Previously he shot Unsane on an iPhone as well. I'm sure it had all the bells and whistles, so it's not just a straight iPhone. It's got like the gear and the Steadicam and the extra lenses. But it's an interesting world we live in now, where someone can film a major motion picture on iPhone. My only slight nitpick about this movie is that if you're coming into it expecting to see a whole bunch of basketball played, then put that out of your mind, because there is only about a minute, if that, of actual basketball play. It's a film about sports politics, but don't let that put you off. The cinematography is stunning, the lighting with strange angles is sometimes a work of art, I felt, and if you have any interest in the sport, then give this film a go. If you have any interest in a movie that is uniquely made and brave in design, also give this a go. It may not be everybody's cup of tea because of how it's packaged, but I think it might be a work of genius. I'm just not sure yet. After watching my review of High Flying Bird, let's chat about it in the comments below. That is your place to talk about it to your heart's content. I have several other reviews headed your way, so if you liked my review and found it helpful and informative, please hit that bell and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for coming back to my reviews and watching them. I've been thinking about doing reaction videos to Netflix trailers. What do you think about that? Would you be interested in watching something like that from my channel? I'm kind of gauged to see whether I should spend my time on it. Thank you so much for supporting me the way you do. I really appreciate you guys. You are amazing. But most of all, until next time, remember, live long and choose it.